What's up, and welcome to episode 149 of Throwback Hoops. My name is Rob Clayton, and I'm joined by a man who is enjoying the festive season. It's a big welcome to Woody V.
Absolutely, Robbie. Great time of year, and happy to chop it up for you one last time in 2024.
That's right, last one for the year. So it's Monday, the 23rd of December. We're both on holiday from now, so it was nice to wake up today, wasn't it? I still got up early with my daughter there, but it was nice to sort of get up and know we can do this and then sort of do a bit of chilling for the rest of the day. Not many NBA games on today for some strange reason.
No, I've got to do some last-minute Christmas shopping, man. So I'm heading to the shopping centre.
You're brave doing that today. So, yeah. Well, looking forward to kicking with you today, Woods. Just a reminder, please make sure you like, rate, and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to your audio podcasts. Well, Woods, I can see you're rocking a brand new jersey, which is looking very nice there. So why don't you start us off showing that one?
For sure.
So Woods is stand up rocking the Spurs number 5 City Edition Steph Castle jersey. Loving that one. I'm guessing there's not many of those around in Australia at the moment, Woods, given they've only just recently come out and it's a randomy sort of player. So, yeah, I like that one.
I mean, I don't think there's any Steph Castle jerseys in Australia, let alone City ones, man.
Yeah, true. It's a nice jersey, isn't it? Nice
it's
colours.
An awesome jersey, man. I remember when we were picking them out, I said the ones that I liked, and San Antonio was one of them. So I just wanted to get one, and I've always been a fan of Steph Castle. Before I get into it, man, what have you seen with Steph Castle early on in the season, man? He's been impressive, right?
He's definitely been impressive. Yeah, he can facilitate the offense pretty well. I feel like sometimes his shooting needs a little bit of work, and that's understandable for a rookie. He's got some hops for a little guy. I don't know what he's listed as in height. Do you? Is he 6'2", 6'3", maybe?
He is listed at
definitely has some hops.
6'6", man.
6'6". Okay, well that explains why he's getting up so high. So I was off on that one. So that's even better, right? So he's got that big, so he could almost play a bit of 1 and 2 there. But no, been impressive. And we just recently watched that Spurs Hawks game there. That the Spurs unfortunately got up. It was a really good game, but yeah, and they wore those jerseys in that game. The court looked really good as well, didn't it? So, tell me your thoughts on Mr. Castle so far.
I've been really high on him since college, right? And I think he does have one of the worst true shooting percentages in the NBA. So that is one part of his game he needs to work on. He's shooting in the high 30s from the field, right? So I think that'll come with time. And even in college, that was the knock on him. He was born in Georgia. Went to UConn, as we know. Yeah, for sure. And went to UConn, as we know, on that famous team. He was the 4th overall pick in the first round of the 2024 NBA draft. Stephon Javonte Castle is his full name. He grew up in a place called Covington and attended Newton High School. He averaged 16.6 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per game as a junior. And then obviously went on to college and enrolled at UConn in June 2023. And spent just the 1 year there before he declared for the 2024 NBA draft with some of his teammates, right, Robbie?
Tell us that connection that he sort of had to the Spurs as well, Woods.
His connection would have been
his dad, right? And
yes.
Tim Duncan? Yeah.
Is Stacey Castle, was it?
Yeah, so I believe his dad and Tim Duncan were college teammates in Wake Forest.
Right, at Wake Forest. Yeah,
and obviously Tim Duncan's still got a lot of sway with the Spurs. So that was pretty cool. That's a connection that was, from the mid-90s up to now sort of thing.
Yeah, so I've been really impressed with him. I think that he's got, out of this rookie class, I've said it in the past, he's going to be the most complete player and the most likely to make an all-star game at some point in the future.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. What do you see? What do you see there?
Well, there's a lot of projects in this draft, as we've spoken about, previously. So you could be right. I think if he sort of continues to work on that jump shot, which he will, right? We know these young guys that are coming out. He's probably relied on that athleticism and everything, up to now, sort of thing. So yeah, you're right. He does have a game that I think is going to continue to improve. I think he's in the right system there as well. And I'm not a big Chris Paul fan, but obviously it's pretty good having him to learn from there. And geez, he was huge against our Hawks, Chris Paul, knocking down some daggers at the end. So yeah, pretty good mentor to have there, I would have thought. So no, I think he's going to have a bright future ahead.
For sure. And just on his shooting splits, 37.6% from the field and 26% from the three. So these are areas of his game definitely needs to develop.
Yep. You can definitely lift those. No, I like it, Wood. I like the matching hat as well. So, all right, well, I'll show you the one I'm rocking today. So I'll obviously be talking a little bit about my Wildcats and the one I'm wearing, but I'll show you what I'm rocking today.
And for those who can't see, Robbie's wearing the Perth Wildcats Dylan Windler jersey. One that he just got signed. I was saying. Yeah.
Just signed. In fact, I'm going to talk about the game. I can talk about this story, right? So I went to the game yesterday. Unfortunately, the Hawks destroyed the Wildcats. But yeah, got to meet Dylan Windler, which was really good. So really nice guy. I had a chat with him. Mentioned to him that I saw him playing for the Hawks 7 months ago, whatever it was. And I said, oh, I was at the game at the end of March when you played against Portland and got 11 off the bench. And his whole face lit up when I said it. He's like, oh, wow, you're at the game like that. Yeah. And I said, oh, it's just a thrill to have you with the Wildcats. Shook his hand. He signed the jersey for me. That was a real thrill, So someone that I've, as I said, it's anyone that plays for both my beloved teams in the Atlanta Hawks and the Perth Wildcats is pretty special to me. So that was really cool and a nice guy as well. Some big hands on him, Woods. I tell you, I shook hands and his hand basically swallowed my hand up. But that was pretty cool. Looking forward to tell a few little stories about my road trip yesterday. But no, that was nice, and I believe it was on the TV, right?
Yeah, I got a text from John O'Barber. Shout out to John O'Barber, friend of the show, listens to the program all the time. He's like, Woods, man, I just saw Dylan Windler walking up to Rob Clayton and signing his jersey for him. So you've already.
I had so many people sending me like photos of like me being on TV, like a little bit blurry because I think they were taking him and zooming in. I reckon I probably had 7 different people, even people that I hadn't even told I was going to the game and stuff. So that was good. Firstly, that people were watching the game, and yeah, unfortunately because they were losing by a lot, I probably wasn't smiling a lot in a lot of those photos. But yeah, it was good nevertheless.
Mate, we both got a national TV within a week of each other. Me at the cricket and you at the basketball. So it's nice.
Well, were you sculling a beer at the cricket or something?
I was eating some hot fries, and then they came over to me. So yeah,
nice.
No, it was good. All right.
So cool. Yeah, well, card of the week, right?
Card of the week, brother. What do we got?
So look, I switched it up a bit. I've been showing some, retired. Well, this is obviously a retired guy. I've been showing a bit of a mix of people. It was an NBL card last week, so I thought I'd show a point guard that started off with our Atlanta Hawks. He was on the sort of inaugural team that I started going for. He was the point guard to Dominique there, and that's none other than Glenn Doc Rivers. So really nice signed Hawks card here. So, I'm loving these ones. Hopefully that's coming up all right, not too glary there.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yep. This is from Panini. It's from this year's 2023-24 set. It's number 15 of 49. So, look, we're going to talk a little bit about Mr. Rivers and his coaching for the Emirates Cup final with Milwaukee. But nice looking card, right? I've got a Spud Webb one that's similar to that. So that's something I'm enjoying. We're trying to collect any sort of Hawks guys from that era that have got signed cards. There's not a lot of them, right? So it's hard to get them. I've got a Stacey Augman and a Mookie Blaylock on the way. So looking forward.
You getting a Danny Manning one?
Look, I probably will. I'm not going to be thrilled about it, but I probably will. But liking the sparkle on this card as well. So that's pretty cool. So that's card of the week. A bit of Glenn Doc Rivers. So. All right, well, let's get into it. So we'll start off with NBL Woods. We're in the middle of a monster round at the moment, right? So round 13, which is still going. What are they calling it? The 12 days of Christmas or something?
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, there's been games. There's it's Monday. There's a game tonight. There's games Christmas Eve. 2 games Christmas Day this year. I've got to say, those Illawarra Hawks Christmas Day jerseys yesterday looked amazing. So they look really good. So they'll obviously be wearing those against your Kings. And yeah, I think you're going to maybe put up the round and we'll sort of go through some of the games so far. Because as I said, Monday, the round started Friday, I believe. So we're a few days into it. So we can give a few thoughts here, all right? So maybe you can start with the first one, Woods. I actually didn't get to see much of this New Zealand-Sydney game. I believe it was close, though, for quite a bit of the game.
For a lot of the game. And this is the thing about the Sydney Kings. Early in the season, they were losing those games where, around the third quarter, they'd be in the game and they're finding ways to lose games. Those games, they're finding a way to win now. Against Brisbane last week, we were, down most of the game, and in the last few minutes, managed to find a way to win. Did the same against New Zealand. Jalen Adams really being clutch, I think since he had that 8-second half-court travesty incident, you remember that when he dribbled the ball over half-court? He had like a bit of a wake-up call, and since then, he's been on a tear. And he's found some of that form that brought him that MVP status a few years ago, and it's seen with the Kings' performances recently, right?
How are those rotations going? I know it's something a lot of people are critical of. You obviously watch all their games, and they've won, 4 of their last 5. They're getting the rotations right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's down to about 8 men at the moment, right? So,
which is what it should be, right, in a 40-minute game.
Yeah, definitely. And, Bull Call's been out as well, so that's been a little bit of a loss for us. He's our best wing defender, so it's almost forced Gorgian to tighten the rotation and let people play more. I've got to give a shout out to Cam Oliver as well. Gorgian hasn't treated him very well this year. Sure, he's a bit of a mercurial figure, but he plays 15 minutes one night, 20 minutes the next night. Some nights he plays 30 minutes. He had a donut, right? And then he was interviewed and he's like, listen, I wanted to show my maturity this time around when I came into the league, right? It's not about me, it's about the team and the team winning. So even if I'm not performing, I want to be on the bench. I want to dap up my teammates. I want to encourage them, make sure they're doing well, and show this whole league that I'm not that same Cam Oliver that came here initially. I'm a mature man now, and I'm going to do what's best for the team. So just to hear that from Cam was really heartwarming.
Shows some maturity, doesn't it? No,
Absolutely.
It's good to see. Well, next up there we saw Brisbane. That was a close game. It was a pretty decent game, I thought, that one as well. Look, Brisbane, I know Sydney and South East are playing well. Brisbane arguably the hottest team in the NBL right now. They continue to win. Casey Prather, career high in that game. So I don't know what's going on with him lately. He can't dunk anymore. He's basically missed 2 open dunks. So he's lost all his hops, but he hasn't lost his smarts there. So they've been really impressive, right? We know they've got injuries. I know Bannon was back in this game, but they've had some key guys out. But yeah, they just keep winning, right? Obviously, you've got to beat teams like Cairns there. Maybe talk a little bit about Cairns. We've mentioned them, how disappointing they've been. It feels like they're nearly full strength at the moment. What is going on with this team?
Yeah, and they played pretty well, right? But if you're going to give up 107 points, you're not going to win many games, right? So I think
they've forgotten how to win, though, haven't they?
Absolutely. And that's the thing. When you have those 13 losses in a row, right, you get into a bit of a funk. And when you're in positions to win games, you forget. You think about the fact that we lost 12 games in a row. Also, not having many veterans on that ball club who know how to get it done. That's been a big problem. Rob Edwards is a bit of a bonehead. I mean, I love him. But he takes some of the dumbest shots. He's very selfish and he's trying to get his, right?
He seems to me, Woods, he'd be the sort of guy that would be talking trash to the other team when his team's down 20 with 2 minutes left. It's like, mate, just give it up. You're losing the game. But yeah, he's a bit of a hothead, isn't he?
The way he's playing isn't conducive to winning ball games. And, honestly, they were better with Taj McCall and Pat Miller last year. Those guys were better fits. And you could win games with those guys, right?
It's funny you mentioned Taj McCall. I was thinking about him the other day. Where's he playing now? So he recently signed in China about 3 weeks ago. So he's playing in that Chinese league now. You're right. I think his game suited the NBL. Wouldn't surprise me to see Rob Edwards being one of those one and done type imports there. But yeah, he's a good player. There's no doubt. I just wonder how well he's fitting into that team environment there. So, the next game. Just quickly
on that Brisbane. Just a bit of a note. James Bateman's got a hamstring injury. He's going to be out for a little while. And Casey Prather's got a back problem and likely to miss the next game as well. So Brisbane are going to have some issues here.
Probably lucky they've banked some sort of W's going on, but yeah, that could be a bit of a tough test.
And they've got 4 doubles in a row coming up at the moment, so just something to watch.
Yeah. So that's Saturday night game. Look, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. If Brisbane's not the hottest team, then it's maybe Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. So they knocked Adelaide off by 20. So that was a bit of a surprising result. I think maybe we're thinking Adelaide would have won that, or it would have been a lot more competitive. Adelaide do struggle away from home, but yeah, what are you liking from this Phoenix team at the moment?
Definitely the coaching change. Mike Kelly wasn't the man for the job. His time was done. So bringing in the new coach, a defensive-minded coach that's really expected excellence out of guys like Angus Glover, Jordan Hunter, guys that Mike Kelly wasn't getting the best out of. The new coach has been able to do that, and I think Southeast Melbourne are a team to watch out for. They can make some
stood out for me in that game, Woods, your old mate, Derek Walton Jr. He was running the offense. He was pulling up on the break and hitting those threes. Those threes from the top that he sort of gets. He runs that semi-break. He kind of knows his space and who's behind him, and he pulls up. And he was looking really good, I thought, in that game. So a healthy Derek Walton Jr. is a good sort of thing for them to have.
Well, all 4 of those Kings players, you throw Tommy Vodanovic into that group there, right?
That's probably being generous, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the coaching staff are getting the most out of those Sydney guys now, which they weren't when Mike Kelly was at the helm. So it's really good to see. Yeah.
Well, the next game. So I guess I want to talk about this a bit of a road trip. Before I start, Woods, is there rumours the reason why you didn't come in with me on this road trip is because your wife was out for the day and she won't let your dog stay home by itself? Is there any truth to those rumours?
Yes.
Okay, and your thoughts on that? A dog that's not allowed to stay home for a few hours by itself, is that a little bit strange? Or
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like
kind of running your life like this dog?
You talked to Rachel Burt, right?
Mate, so you missed out on sitting probably in the best seats we've ever sat in a game because your dog can't stay at home for a few hours. Like, can't you buy her a toy or do something like that?
Okay, all right, man.
Anyway,
I hear you.
So, anyway, so as Woods wasn't able to go because he was dog sitting, I took my lovely daughter Emily down. So it was really nice. It was a bit of a daddy-daughter day. This might sound strange, me living in Sydney for as long as I have. I've been to Wollongong once in my entire life, and that was 20 years ago. So as hard as that is to believe, that is the truth. So it was a bit of an adventure driving down. It was about an hour and a half from my place. We went down. Firstly, it was a really good experience. And I'm going to forget the score here. I said that to Emily this morning. It was a great day yesterday. Let's forget the score. But it was really nice. It's a nice area there. It was a beautiful day. Really nice stadium, Woods. I was actually really impressed. Really easy to get into. There was free parking, less than 5 minutes from where the stadium was. The beach is literally a stone's throw from where you walk into the stadium. So very scenic and picturesque there. A couple of things that stood out for me there. So also, before I go into too much, a really big shout out to Paul Fox. So
Foxy,
really
thank you.
appreciate it, Foxy. You gifted us those tickets there and really appreciate it. Probably the best seats in the house. They were literally behind the Wildcats bench, which was just amazing for me, getting seeing all the subs, seeing the, encouragement, the timeout, sort of getting a bit more involved in that. In terms of the stadium though, Woods, really good fans, firstly, very knowledgeable fans and very nice fans. I had a lot of chats with some people. Actually had a long chat, the famous guy that wears the hat with the horns on their show. Yeah. So it just turned out as I was walking out with him. So I chatted with him for a good 5 minutes. Really nice guy. If I forget.
He's a lawyer, I hear.
Is that right? Yeah, really nice guy. Very knowledgeable. So, and not having a shot at you, but there was none of that stuff when you go to a Kings game where there's a foul called and someone throws up a shot 3 seconds afterwards and the Kings crowd cheer because they think it counts. Very knowledgeable crowd.
You're not
they
wrong.
got behind the Hawks. I guess firstly from my Wildcats, look, Cotton Streak was bound to win, but I didn't kind of expect that to happen. So for those that didn't see the game, he scored 13 in the first quarter. He was on the quest to try and break the record for 5 consecutive 40-point games. So 30 points in the first quarter, and he had 13 points. So 13 in the first quarter, 13 at full time. So didn't score again. There was one play in the second half, Woods, where he had 2 air balls on the same play.
I saw the game,
Not sure I've ever seen that before. Davo
that
Hickey
second one was
him.
terrible.
It was bad. That missed by quite a bit. So Hickey blocked him a few times. Look, for the Wildcats, I'm going to talk a bit about this game because obviously I went there. Almanza Woods, a little bit disappointing, I've got to say. I don't know. He's not that athletic, I've got to say. He's young. He's pretty quick. He's got some nice, nifty moves inside. I worry there's going to be some guys that are bigger than him, more athletic than him, better shooters than him. So, a little bit disappointing seeing him in the flesh. And maybe that's being a little bit harsh there, but that was sort of my thoughts. My guy, Dylan Windler, friend of mine now. So he was good. Still feel like I want a little bit more from him. He seems a little bit passive sometimes in offense, but there's no doubt he's a great rebounder and plays his part well on the team. I was being a little bit critical about Keanu Pinder. He actually played pretty well, I thought.
Played well yesterday.
He did. And it was a strange game. It was a quick game. There was no timeouts in, I think, 2 of the 4 quarters. It was garbage time at the end. Michael Harris came on and got 11 points in 7 minutes or something.
Good to see him play.
Exactly. And I said that to Emily when we were watching it. This is big for these bench guys because he's possibly earned some minutes for next week. We know Ty Webster's out. Doolittle was on the bench cheering the team on, which was good. One standout for me before I finish on the Wildcats, Woods, Jesse Wagstaff, right? So he's made to be an assistant coach, I reckon. I'd love to see him do it. Every time someone went off in the subs, he'd slide his chair over to them, always in a positive and constructive way, with Ben Henschel, with Elijah Pepper, with these sort of guys, David Okwera, and just really giving them some guidance that you'd expect from that veteran there. So he's 19 years older than Almanza, would you believe? So quite hard, pretty crazy sort of age difference there, but really impressed with that. Disappointing game for the Wildcats. When we're talking about the Hawks,
just on that, speaking of Jesse Wagstaff, he's come out this morning and said, Perth Wildcats captain Jesse Wagstaff has called the care factor of the playing group into question after a 120-88 defeat to the top-placed Illawarra Hawks. Wagstaff's thoughts came off the back of a question about Perth's defense, which is leaking 97.3 points per game, the worst rate in the league. Okay, so this whole thing about, look, we're just going to score more points than you, doesn't matter how much you get, right? That is not going to be conducive for success and to win championships, is it?
Well, little things like that yesterday, you're talking about hard work and everything else like that. The amount of times that the Hawks beat the Wildcats to a rebound there, defensively and offensively getting on the boards there, diving for loose balls. I don't know, obviously it's different when you got the home crowd behind you, but it just felt like the Hawks wanted that game a bit more. And that was disappointing, right? The Wildcats have been playing well, but we know a lot of these teams around them continue to win there. So I'm glad that Jesse came out and did that, and hopefully really might sort of light a fire under him this week as well.
And like a guy like Christian Doolittle, he's really missed, because he adds that bit of mongrel,
100%. It was good to see him travelling with the team. I've got to say, obviously didn't have to. He was really sort of positive, offering a lot of encouragement on the end of the bench and everything else like that. But for the Hawks, Woods, Trey Kell, the third, I believe he is.
Yep.
Wow. So that was a career high for him yesterday. He's a lot smaller than you think when you see him close up. There's not, he's quite a solid guy, but he's not that tall. But he was just getting to his spot everywhere. Really impressive. He was probably the most impressive player for me for the game there. Our boy Samson Froling was quiet for 2 quarters, and then he just took over in the third quarter. He's a big unit, just bumping guys off their spot on the block and everything like that. And other than that, just a complete team effort. Darius Days comes in off the bench. He does not look to pass at all. He literally gets the ball, and the shot's going up. but he's a solid
Love
shooter.
Darius Days, man.
How deep is that team, though?
Yeah.
You've got defensive guards, you've got bigs, you've got 3 quality imports. I mean, Tyler Harvey didn't even seem that good. And another guy that stood out as well was HJ Lee. That guy can ball, right?
Of course
He's
can.
someone that's almost the opposite to Kell. He's huge. He's a big unit there. Sneaky player, gets good offensive rebounds, reads the player well. And every time he put up a shot yesterday, I was scared that it was going in, and most of the time it did. So, but look, yeah, it was really good going down there. As I said, a bit of a road trip there. It was probably as good as seats as I've ever sat. I had my cotton jersey. I was hoping to maybe get that signed, but they weren't in the best mood after the game and stuff, so that was fair enough. But it was great to meet Dylan Windler. And I should say as well, Woods, Brad Rosen came over, had a nice chat with him. Great bloke, as we know, friend of the show. He did make a bit of a joke about trying to get Emily wearing purple. I said, no, that's definitely not going to happen. And he actually came over with the microphone as well. Let us hold that for a while. And that's all these people are looking at. It's like, wow, this guy and his daughter must know this guy pretty well. So that was pretty cool. We got a few photos there. So shout out to Brad Rosen, absolute legend there as well.
Awesome, really nice of him as well. It would have been a great experience for Emily. So let's just quickly go through the games that are left for this round, the 12 days of Christmas. So tonight we've got the open air game. Melbourne United versus the Tassie Jack Jumpers. You've got Marcus Lee coming back from injury. You've got Chris Golding coming back from injury. Marcus Lee against his old ball club.
This should be good, right?
It's going to be a great game. I'm gonna go Melbourne at home in a tight one.
Yeah, looking forward to this. We know Melbourne's been struggling a little bit of late there, but I like Melbourne in this game, and I think this will be competitive. It should be a fun one.
Yep, and then we've got Adelaide taking on a depleted Brisbane Bullets at home, right? You'd think Adelaide should get that done?
Well, those W's that we're seeing above Brisbane might sort of be broken there. Look, Adelaide at home as well. I think they're going to be pretty annoyed about their efforts against South East. So Adelaide. Montrez was pretty quiet, wasn't he, against Saturday night?
Very quiet. He's a bit rusty as well.
I know we're playing in Supercoach, and we both had him as captain there. So I bet we wish we had someone different than him. But that's going to be an interesting battle. We're pretty close on that.
Yeah, and just as I said, with Casey Prather, 50-50, a game time decision, and James Bateman out of that game, you'd have to think Adelaide would be the favourites at home, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Then we go to My State Bank Arena, Tasmania versus struggling New Zealand Breakers.
Battle of the Islands.
Who kind of got it together with Taco Fall. You didn't watch that game, but they found a way to make a target of Taco Fall, and he played really, really well, and they nearly knocked off the Sydney Kings. So I'm going to say that the New Zealand Breakers are going to be competitive in that one, but Tasmania should get it done. They're playing some good basketball.
Well, as we know, Will Magnay's out for a while now, so that's going to be a smaller team. I mean, you think of the weight difference between Gak and Taco Fall in that game. It's probably a good 50 to 60 kilos, I would have thought, that Taco Fall's got there. So this could be a danger game for Tassie, right? Backing up a couple of days after. So literally 2 days after, playing Melbourne's obviously not a lot of travel there, but they still have to travel to New Zealand. To travel to Melbourne, then back home. So I might say an upset. I might say New Zealand in this one.
What do you know about Ian Hummer?
Not a whole lot, actually. Yeah,
35-year-old, half American, half Azerbaijani, 6'7" journeyman who's played everywhere from 2014 to now.
One, isn't it? Look, I think they were a little bit pig-headed with Craig Sword there. We've said that all along. I think, and that's kind of Scott Roth's style, right? He's very good and very great coach, no doubt about it. He's a little bit pig-headed at times, and I think he probably held on a little bit long for Sword. Without having to go at Sword, and I've been pretty consistent with what I've said about him. To me, he's an NBL 1 level import. He's fine to have in the NBL 1. He'd be a good player in that. He's not an NBL quality import. There's absolutely no way he is. So, it's going to be hard coming in kind of this late, round 13, learning the system. Obviously, a journeyman guy, you think Woodsy's probably fit in these situations before, so maybe it'll work out. But it's maybe it worked out well getting a big guy coming in with Magna going down.
The good thing about a 34, 35-year-old journeyman guy who comes in who's played on 20 different teams is he knows how to go and fit into different environments and play the role that's requested of him. So I think that's there. You'll see Gorjak Gak play a lot more basketball now, especially in the back half of this season. Tasmania have got a lot of games against other bigs. For example, they're going up against Taco Fall. They'll need Gorjak Gak there for sure, right?
Quick early true or false, Woods. Tasmania will miss out on the playoffs.
False.
So you're expecting they'll make it. So what do you think? I'll make a play-in?
I think they'll make the play-in and probably make the top 4 as well, knowing Scott Roth, man. How do you count against them? And they're going on a good run of late. Look at that, 5 of the last 6 or whatever, right? So, yeah. Okay, Sydney versus Illawarra Hawks on Christmas Day. I can't go. It's an 8:30 p.m. tip-off, man. I got to fly to Melbourne at 5 a.m.
You're not going?
No.
What?
Yeah, I can't. I've got a 5 a.m. flight to Melbourne on Boxing Day, man. Why do they put it at 8:30 p.m. at night? That's a late tip-off.
You've changed, mate. I tell you. You've given up front row seats to look after a dog. You're not going to the Christmas Day game, which I know you were looking forward to. Why don't you just go and then deal with sleep the next day?
Yeah, okay, maybe I could. Yeah. All right. Well,
Seriously.
anyway, who you got there?
Like, you'd be home by 11 o'clock. You could get some sleep on, the 1 hour flight to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Well, look, I've got to say, Woods, and I said this to the fan of the Hawks yesterday with the Bullhorns. If the Wildcats don't win this year, which I'm not really expecting them to, the way they're playing at the moment, I hope the Hawks win. I really like their team, and I think they will get up in this game.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, Sydney's playing some really good basketball, but it's hard to bet against the Hawks in the kind of form they're in at the moment.
So was it a different start time last year, was it?
Yeah, it was like 4.
Nah.
Oh no, it was 5. It was 5. It was 5. It was
So obviously they did their research and
it was
work
a
out
5 to 7.
I can see why they've done this. This way you've kind of got all your Christmas stuff out of the way and sort of go there and stuff. So I reckon you should still go.
And they pulled it off. They pulled it off the season ticket as well. You've got to pay for it this time. It's not part of your season ticket anymore this year, which is even worse. Right?
That's a bit cheeky. Yeah. Interesting. So massive round, right? Yeah, looking forward to the last few games.
One game every day as well, which is nice, right?
It's good to see. Yeah, nice. All right, appreciate that, Woods. Let's talk some NBA. So I've got to say, and we didn't mention it already, we loved having Ben Arkell on the show last week. A lot of great feedback for him. It was funny. Guess who walked past me about 10 times yesterday? Derek Rucker at the game. I'm like, firstly, damn, why didn't I think of that and take my jersey? Because that would have been great to get signed. But just funny, we were literally talking to Ben Arkell less than a week ago and then, talking about Rucker a lot. And he was walking past me all game yesterday. So,
great numbers on that episode. A lot of people have tuned in on
YouTube. Yeah, a lot of people have enjoyed it, right? So it's good to see. And I think people like hearing the stories of these guys that sort of played, sort of forgotten. I'm sure Ben wouldn't mind us saying, a bit of a forgotten player, right? We've had some people say, oh, wow, what a great story he's got. And the teammates that guy played with, like, you play with
one of my favorite guests, man. I got to say, one of my favorite guests on the show. Really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Good call. Well, obviously we didn't talk any NBA last week, so it feels like there's a bit to talk about. So I've kind of picked out 3 topics here, Woods, for us to go through. And look, it'd be remiss not to talk about. It does feel like it's a bit of a while ago, but the NBA Emirates Cup, right? So the Milwaukee Bucks knocked off our Hawks in the semi-final, and then they steamrolled OKC in the final, 97-81, behind a huge triple-double from Giannis, who went for 26, 19, and 10. So look, the Bucks have started off the season pretty poorly, but they've done pretty well here, and looked like that win meant a lot to them, right? I did read today they've hung a banner in Milwaukee, which a few people are like, come on, you're hanging a banner there, but why not? I don't really have a problem with that. People hang division banners and stuff like that. So I guess firstly, what did you think of the Bucks' performance and also the NBA Cup as a whole? What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, the NBA Cup has really got some momentum this year. As I said, last year, no one really knew what was going on, who was coming what on the table, what the brackets looked like. This year, people followed it. They knew who was coming, what the semifinals were about, and there's a little bit more eyes on it. And to see the Lakers' success last year, other teams wanted that success this year. And I think for a team like the Bucks, who really struggled to start the year, they really did. And there was grave concerns about Doc Rivers' coaching methods, their roster makeup for the year, and to see them turn it around and come back and win the cup shows where they're at. The team's improved a great deal. And to see Damian Lillard give away his $500,000 prize money to... Do you want to speak on that a little bit? Because that's worth mentioning.
Yeah,
right?
so every player got $500,000. And the veterans say, look, this is all about the young guys. So, AJ Johnson on the bench and these sort of guys like, they're not really getting a lot of court time there, which $500,000, I mean, is huge for them. Obviously, for any normal person, it's life-changing. But, yeah, Dame Lillard basically gifted his money and split it up between all the Bucks organisations. So, trainers, cleaners, all that sort of stuff. So that's one of those things. He obviously doesn't have to do it, but that's nice to hear Dame doing that. I'm sure he really made the day of some of these guys at this time of year as well at Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. And then with the Bucks, they found some good players in Andre Jackson Jr. and AJ Green as well. These youngsters are coming through, and they found some rotation pieces to put alongside. Your Giannis and Dame and Chris Middleton back from injury. I mean, that's a huge...
Middleton missed out on that game, doesn't he? Look, it still feels a little bit of a flawed team for me. I do like the combo of old Crazy Eyes and Brooke the neck Lopez, but I don't know, just that was why I actually had an OKC fan reach out to me and said, man, wouldn't it have been different? I know Stuart from the Sports Blocks will hate hearing this, but this mate of mine said to me, wouldn't it have been different if Giddey was playing in that game there? Like Milwaukee have got no defensive guards there that could guard someone Giddey's height there. So I think Giddey for OKC would have made a difference. What about OKC in that game? Woods? They were really disappointing, right? It's SGA's worst game for a long time there. They looked really undersized without Chet and just playing with the Hardenstein in there, but just a one-off game you can forget, you think?
Yeah, you can just sweep that under the rug, right?
Yeah. No, fair call. Yeah, but no, look, I agree with what you said, Woods. I enjoyed it. I think people understood it a bit more this year. There is some talk that they might maybe change it a little bit next year. Some people are maybe saying they might play that final over the All-Star break. It feels like this All-Star break's going to change every year, so I don't know what they're doing with that. But they're saying maybe next year the semi-finals might be played on the team's home court, which maybe would be good. A few people that went to that game said it was a little bit weird. So the Milwaukee-Atlanta game, I heard it described that it was basically 30% Hawks fans, 25% Bucks fans, and the rest was just basically basketball fans or just curious people that were in Vegas for the weekend that thought, let's go down and see an NBA game. So a little bit strange, a little bit sort of manufactured sort of noise and atmosphere there. But no, it was good to see. And look, shout out to the Bucks. I don't have a problem with them raising that banner. Good luck to them, I guess. But
Yep.
Nice. All right. Well, secondly, we had kind of our first, I don't know if it's the first trade of the season. Well, it's certainly the first trade that, involved a pretty meaningful player there. So one of my faves in DS17, Dennis Schroeder being traded to Golden State from Brooklyn. So Golden State gave up D'Anthony Melton, who's actually out for the season, Reese Beekman, who? And 3 second-round draft picks. So didn't give up a lot there, right? I really like this trade for Golden State Woods, and I'll get your thoughts in a sec. So, yeah, obviously Melton's out for the season. DS17 or DS71 as he now is now, because 17 is obviously Chris Mullin's old number there. So he's already starting, right? Look, they did lose the first game to Memphis by 180 points. Yeah, so but they did win the game yesterday. That game against Memphis Woods, wow, that was just you get a few of those games.
That's an aberration,
It was, definitely. And they won yesterday there. And we know, and I've read this as well, that apparently Schroeder is someone that Steve Kerr's always been really high on there. He's obviously seen him at international levels as dominating for Germany. But what were your thoughts on that trade? Is that something that could really help Golden State get deeper this season?
The thing was, D'Anthony Melton was brought in to play a role this year, and Steve Kerr needed his services, right? He was a perfect addition to play alongside the likes of Steph, but he can't stay healthy, right? So once D'Anthony Melton was ruled out for the season, they needed to make a move. The Nets are in a position where they're rebuilding at the moment. They've got a lot of assets they can use to build for the future. So parting ways with Dennis Schroeder was a logical idea for them. So it made sense for everyone. Now, he's a ball-dominant guard who likes the ball in his hands a lot, right?
Yeah.
So there's going to be some, Steph can move without the ball, and it's going to help him potentially to, get open and if those two can work out a good cohesion between the two of them, there's no reason why it can't be a resounding success, right?
No, absolutely. And I like that, what DS17 can give at both ends of the court. He's always been a tenacious defender. He's got that bit of a mongrel in him, right? We've seen him this year fire up at a fan, fire up at an opposition coach. And I don't know how that might mesh with Draymond, but maybe those two can work out. They're both veterans there, but I like it there. I think it's a good move for Golden State. Still feel like they're wanting a bit more consistency out of their young guys, your Moody's, your Pods.
Kuminga's starting to show it.
Kuminga has showed a bit, but he still can sort of, leave you lacking a little bit there. But yeah, I thought that was a decent trade. And look, we've seen the player that's in the rumours at the moment. We're talking about trades. A lot of rumours about De'Aaron Fox.
Jimmy Butler as well?
Jimmy Butler, yeah. I mean, that's always going to kind of be a rumour because he's out of contract, yes. But De'Aaron Fox is the one that surprised me. I expect him to be an all-star this year, even though the sack a little bit down. But
I'm really surprised
if
about
a team could get him, why would Sacramento give up on him? I don't quite get that. It's not like they've got a ready-made point guard.
Here's a food for thought, right? And I want you to give me an answer while we're on Sacramento. DeMar DeRozan doesn't actually make you better. Like, he's a guy who just always needs the ball. He takes his mid-range, high usage rate. He's a great player, don't get me wrong, but does he make teams better, right? You know
what I think he'd make better at the moment, Woods? I think he'd make a team better as a six-man. I really do. I think if you can bring him on, we know he can get some instant offense. He's a big player there. He can get the ball down low. He plays the old school game, but I'd probably like to see that. Have him as your six-man, not someone you really can play minutes there, but probably slows down your offense a little bit as well. Yeah, you're right. Sacramento has been a bit of a disappointing team. I know I know you were quite high on them, weren't you? So, early days still, they could turn it around. But I'd be shocked if they gave up Fox for like nothing. Why would you be doing that? It's at the peak of his career. So, anyway, we'll watch his space. Maybe that's one of those like Lakers type rumors that we hear that teams just try and start rumors off to piss off the other team and stuff. But nice. Well, so for the last topic, Woods, this has been a very sort of interesting hearing people's takes on this week. So topic 3, I thought it was only fitting that we spoke about the three-point shot. And look, the impact it's having on the league, Woods. I love three-pointers. You know that. You do as well. You're a lot more probably of a traditionalist with the game than me. You've been a little bit more wary about changes and that. I respect that. That's your view on that. But a couple of little facts here, Woods. So came out last week, the ratings are down with viewing for watching NBA down 40% in the last 10 years. That's pretty alarming. Probably more alarming, though, followers is down 20% from last season. So last season and this season, there's 20% decrease in viewership there. It feels like people are not responding to the three-point dominated league, and viewers really seem to be turning away. So how concerned are you about this?
Very concerned. And I mean, look, we'll get to the 3-point game and the changing nature of basketball in a minute. But I think one thing that we're forgetting about is you mentioned it. 30% were Atlanta Hawks fans, 20% were Bucks fans, and 50% were other fans.
Yeah.
In this day and age, in the last 20 years specifically, people turn up to follow players other than teams, right? And they've got an affinity towards these brand names. We need to, the league needs to do a better job of creating more LeBrons, Kobe's, Allen Iversons, guys like that, right? That people want to follow. And I just find that the superstars now, they're not marketed as well as before. I mean, a Giannis or a Joker, these guys are great players, but they're not brand names, you know. I asked my brother yesterday, do you know who Giannis Antetokounmpo is? He had no idea.
Wow.
No idea. For the regular fan, if you asked them who Michael Jordan was, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, could they tell you? They would tell you in a heartbeat. Even the guy on the street will tell you that, right?
Is this an attention span type thing? So you hear people say that, you know, people don't want to watch full games anymore. They want to go on and see the 10-minute, you know, mini version or something like that. I don't know why that is these days. It just seems to be the case, especially for younger people, right? They're not going to sit down and watch, let's face it, a 48-minute game that goes for 2 hours and 48 minutes sometimes. Maybe that's got something to do with it.
100%. I mean, a game like Test cricket goes for 5 days. It's dying. No one wants to go watch a 5-day game.
I certainly don't.
And definitely not, right? And I think the NBL does a good job in packaging up a 2-hour product for the game.
Yeah,
if you're watching an NBA game, it takes 3.5 hours sometimes now. Over 3 hours with timeouts, etc. And people are like, I don't have the
game I went to, Woods, yesterday, it started at 2:40. It finished at 4:05. I mean, granted, because it wasn't a close game, but that was one of the quickest games I've been to. It just went through so quick. And you could see the kids, they could have, you know, probably watched another game and went so quick. But I'll throw a few things at you here, Woods. So these have been some of the suggestions to try and, you know, get the fans.
Well, hold on one sec.
You got
one sec. One more thing I want to say to you. The 3-point line thing. Yeah. I'm a traditionalist. I like a big, lumbering big with his back to the basket playing post-up basketball. But honestly, the young kids like threes and dunks these days. I don't think that's affecting the viewership of the game, because there's less boring old traditionalists like me, right? There's more youngsters who like to see threes and dunks. So
maybe this is a coaching thing as well. Woods, you saw like Memphis drafting Zach Edey this year. Why couldn't they draft another, you know, 7'2" guy next year or something, and try and shift the other team? Play 2 guys there and try and switch things up. Yeah, the Edey and this other big guy have to guard the other team, but how is the team going to guard 2 giants? So maybe it needs to be like a coaching swift, almost a tactical sort of change there to make things different. Yeah, well, these are some of the sort of changes I'm hearing, right? Some of these are pretty crazy, right? So these are what some of the experts, I've heard Brian Windhorst and a few of these guys talk about it, right? So these are some of the suggestions to try and, you know, stop these 3-pointers, right? So first one is no corner 3-pointers. So basically, if you shoot from that line, well, there won't be the line, maybe. If you do shoot it from that, it's 2 in the corner. Crazy rule?
Idiotic rule.
That's stupid, right? Yeah, I don't think we're going to like any of these, just frankly, right? One that maybe they could do, maybe this is probably the suggestion I like the most, is the 3-point line could be moved a little bit further out.
It's already further out than the FIBA line.
It is, but these guys are still going to keep shooting. Right? All right, so that's a bad one.
Dumbest idea ever.
Yeah. And this is probably the craziest one, right? So a cap on 3-pointers would. So someone suggested, okay, what if the cap was 30 3-pointers, right? So say you've taken the 30 3-pointers in the first 3 quarters of the game. In that last quarter, you can shoot from anywhere you want outside the 3-point line, but you'll only get 2 for it. So that seems crazy to me, right? Can you see any of these rules coming on?
I honestly don't think that too many threes is a problem, right? Like some of the older guys, I said that, are saying that, but the youngsters want to come to the game to see Steph Curry shoot from the logo. Okay, they want to see dunks. They don't want to see you know, someone setting a screen and a pick and popping from 17 foot. They don't. You know?
Yeah. The funny thing is, though, Woods, like I think we both agree, right? 3 is worth more than 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a post move or a dunk shot or a layup under the ring is a lot higher percentage shot, right? So you kind of think it evens out a little bit there. Yeah, it's worth 2 instead of 3, but there's a lot more chance you're going to get it. We see a lot of guys shooting horrendous 3-point percentages these days.
Some of the shots that have been taken.
Steph Castle, right? What was that? 27%. I mean, that's awful, right?
Why take him? And he's taken 4 a game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And like you said, every team, literally with the exception of the Hawks with Clint Capella, like Onyeka takes them. Every team now. You've Valanciunas. A lot of people are saying Wemby takes too many threes.
Way too many.
He probably does, but he can certainly hit him. But yeah, it's strange, isn't it? So I guess it's a bit of a watch this space here to see what happens with it. I hope personally the league don't kind of overreact. I mean, imagine they put in one of those. Imagine they said, right, there's no corner threes next year, or we're going to extend the line. I hope they don't sort of rush to things. And let's see some coaching. Let's see some moves to try and counteract this.
That is gonna happen. What you mentioned, right? Because there was a shift from let's not play half court anymore.
Yeah.
And Phoenix Suns basketball, whatever. Let's shoot in the first 8 seconds of the shot clock. There was a coaching change there. And I believe that transition is going to occur again over the next 10 years, where the big man has a little bit more of a prominent role to play in the NBA. Yeah.
Let's hope so. All right, I appreciate that, Wood. So, yeah, as I mentioned, Monday, there's not a lot of games to follow today. It's been a bit of a weird schedule the last week, hasn't it, in the NBA? There's been days off. I guess they're just trying to give them a bit of the
14 games tomorrow.
What is
with that?
Okay, nice.
Oh, God.
I'll be watching a bit of that. I know our Hawks are on a West road trip, so pretty disappointing so far, right? They lost that game to the Spurs and got blown out against Memphis, so they don't want to sort of start falling behind there. So, yeah, that'll be good to watch some games tomorrow. So, all right, so we've got some true and false Woods. We've got a bit of a mix of ones today. I'm going to start off with a WNBL question for you, Woods. So, Sammy Whitcomb will be the WNBL MVP.
True.
I think true as well. She's really good. She's one of those players. If I see that she's involved in a game, I'll always try and watch it there. She's just really good to watch. I thought she was great in the Olympics, but I definitely think she's favourite.
And at this age, to be performing at this level is just ridiculous, right?
And played in so many different places. Well, I think she's another one who can just adapt to any team environment there and come on and just play a role, whether it's a starring role or an assisting sort of role there. So, shout out to Sammy there. Okay, what's the next one? Okay, so the struggling Denver Nuggets will finish in the play-in and have to fight to make the playoffs this season.
False.
So you think they're a lock to make that top 6?
Yeah.
I'm going to say true. I'm going to say that they're worrying me a little bit, this team, Woods. They're a team we've heard sort of in rumours of Zach LaVine there, which would be interesting. Maybe Michael Porter Jr. for Zach LaVine. I'm not sure whether that would help him or not. We'll give him some more fire.
Hey, how good is your boy Russell Westbrook playing?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Way better than he played at the 2 LA teams.
Right? Speaking of my other boys, Woods, Karl Anthony Towns. He's a chance to be All-NBA first team this year. That might seem a big call. If anyone that thinks that's rubbish, go and look up his stats right now. He's killing it. This is like a career season. That game he had in his return to Minnesota the other day was special, right? 5 of 5 3-pointers, massive rebound numbers. Really good to watch there. Shout out to
and enjoying himself. You
Absolutely.
can really see that, right?
He feels rejuvenated, doesn't he? So that's what it sometimes needs, these guys that have been in this situation for a long time. So great to see that. Look, we mentioned this guy before. So the recent trade of Dennis Schroeder to the Warriors will help them finish top 4 in the West.
False. The West is so strong, man. For them to make the top 4 is going to be a challenge, right?
You think I'll be 6 or I'll be playing? So 6. So not far off that anyway. I agree with you. I'll say false with that as well. This one I feel like we've covered variations. This one I thought was a little bit of a fun one. So Joe Ingles and Patty Mills will both finish off in the NBA after this season, and they will both play in the NBL next season.
Oh, they're both not going to be in the NBA next year. That's for sure, right?
So that's part of that. Is it true?
Wait. Patty Mills might just get that veterans end of the bench roster spot for one more year.
Maybe.
NBL Joe Ingles, definitely.
Okay. And do you think Patty eventually as well? For one last season, or maybe not? You think Ingles is more of a chance?
Ingles is more of a chance. Patty, I'm not so sure. Patty might get involved in front office ownership with the Canberra team when they do eventually come on board. I feel he will be involved in the NBL, but I think we've seen the last of him actually playing in the NBL, right?
Fair enough. Well, funny you mentioned expansion, Woods, because the next question's about that. So we often hear about this NBL expansion. So my question is, either New South Wales or Western Australia will get a second team by 2030.
New South Wales don't need one. We can't actually...
Well, it's not whether they do or don't, it's will they?
No. So we've already got 2, that's enough. Yeah.
You think it's false?
Yeah.
Perth, I would like to see it. I hated when they brought in the second team in the AFL, but so you reckon no.
We'll go to one of the other regions. We've talked about it. Gold Coast, Canberra, Newcastle, wherever, Darwin. I don't care.
Right. Well, give me who that first expansion will be. Those teams you mentioned, who's getting the first one? Canberra. Over Gold Coast, you think?
I think so. I think they've got the infrastructure there.
I do think the league just want that Gold Coast team in again. But it'd be interesting. I'd like to see them both sort of get in there.
The infrastructure to build a stadium in Canberra is already in the works. So I think if Gold Coast can get their act together and build can they use that stadium that they use for the Blitz? I don't think so. Can they?
Yeah, it probably needs a bit of work. I think like Foxy was saying, they're looking at building a stadium there. So that's watch this space. I guess it just depends on the time frame with these sort of things, right? So this question felt a bit better a few days ago before his efforts yesterday. But so finally, Bryce Cotton has his name on the NBL MVP trophy already. It's a wrap.
False. There's still 13 games left, man. There's a lot to play out, right? Yeah.
No, it's a good call. 13 games is a lot. Like one of those players that's maybe there and abouts now could just have a crazy end to the season. Give me a couple of names, Woods. If he's not a lock, give me 3 names of guys. Jack White, I'll give you one. Jack White.
Parker Jackson Cartwright. I know New Zealand have been playing badly, but if they can come back and make a bit of a run here, Parker Jackson Cartwright from New Zealand. I'm going to go Xavier Cooks from Sydney. Obviously, he's always going to be in the mix. And Montrezl Harrell from Adelaide. No, Kendrick Davis from Adelaide.
Davis,
Throw him in the mix. Right?
Yeah, I wonder how much they'll factor in like teams' win-loss records and everything else like that. But yeah, you're right. I think one of those guys. And 13 games left. As much as Cotton would be the favourite right now, I'm sure we both agree with that.
Absolutely.
A lot can change. If he has a few more games like he has yesterday in teams, they weren't going to let him score after the first quarter, the Hawks. So they were sending double teams, bigger defenders.
It was just like 2 months ago before the fever break, they were saying Cotton's like past his best.
Well, I think we know not to say that. He seems to start these seasons slow and then he fires up there. So, all right, I appreciate that, Woods. Do we want to finish off with the classic packs? Last episode.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Let's do it.
Of the year.
All right, last episode of the year. We should mention as Woods while you're opening that another Upper Deck pack. So we've got episode 150 coming up. So we thought we wouldn't have an episode next week. Have a bit of a break for this New Year's period, and then we'll start off 2025 with our 150th episode, which is a good achievement, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And looking forward to another Upper Deck pack. So how many more of these you got left? You must be
2 more.
2 more. Okay, we've enjoyed these so far. So let's see who you got today.
Okay, we've already got this card, I'm pretty sure. I'm not Anthony, but I am...
Anthony Mason?
Yeah, I'm not Anthony Mason, but I am who? Denver Nuggets.
Oh, Mark Mason.
Mark Mason.
We did have that one.
We got his card last week, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we did, yeah. Hopefully it's not like a repeat pack from last week.
Oh, he only made 1 All-Star game ever for the East All-Stars. As a member, I'm pretty sure he would have been a member of the Chicago Bulls, but went on to play for the New York Knicks. Oh no, he would have been a member of the Knicks. He would have been a member of the Knicks in '91, right?
Charles Oakley, yeah.
Yeah.
Is James Dolan behind him in that photo somewhere, just cheering him on? Or?
Just the 1 All-Star game he made, didn't he?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Horace Grant was the 1 All-Star game as well, wasn't he?
Yep.
Talk about him recently.
There was once a center with the surname Benjamin, a big center who played for Seattle. This guy is his namesake from Utah with the same surname as his first name.
Was he wearing number 21 and was his first name David?
Yes. Yeah. David Benoit. Say it.
David Benoit.
Exactly.
Nice. So not David Benoit, as some people used to call him back in the
Me and my brother used to be like, Benoit Benjamin. My dad picked up the card once and he goes, I think it's Benoit Benjamin, man.
Yeah. Hey, Woods, Benoit Benjamin and Brooke Lopez, who had the longest neck?
Lopez.
Yeah.
Robin Lopez has a pretty big neck as well.
Is he in the league? I was thinking about him the other day. He's gone, is he?
He's
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, we've got the Orlando Magic NBA Slam Dunk Competition checklist card. So I'm not going to throw this one out because it's all the members of the dunk comp in that year.
Well, you want me to guess some of these? So we've got Cedric Sabalas. So what year is this? 92, 93?
91 dunk contest it would have been.
Was Darrell Armstrong in this one or was that later?
Later.
Doug West.
Yes.
J.R. Ryder?
No, think about 2 of the greatest dunkers ever, like in game.
Dominic and Jordan.
No.
Sean Kemp.
The man on here.
Yeah, Cedric Sabalas. Yeah.
Yep. So we had Nick Anderson, Stacey Ogman, Cedric Sabalas, Larry Johnson, Sean Kemp, John Starks, and Doug West. What a lineup!
That's a star lineup. Isn't it? None of these no-names of guys that basically aren't in the league.
People actually cared about winning it back then. Yeah.
And could he see through that blindfold or what? Cedric Sabalas, I think he could.
Yeah, of course he could.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man, this is awesome because we've never pulled one. This is probably the last year he played in the league. Okay, he is arguably the greatest small forward to ever play the game. Yeah. The Hick.
Larry.
This is probably one of his final ever cards.
Ooh, that's a nice
91,
card,
92 Larry Bird Celtics up and...
Who's he being guarded by there on that card, Woods? Can't quite see.
Alvin Robertson.
Interesting. That would have been a good matchup. Yeah, great player and great card to pull there.
Honestly, that would have been his only Upper Deck card because he would have retired straight after that season, right?
Yeah,
remember
probably
the 92 Dream Team with the Dream Team and that was it. Okay, awesome. This duo at Portland wreaked havoc for other teams in the front court. Okay, this is
Duck and Buck.
Yep, this is one of them.
Got You've got Buck Williams here.
Buck Williams, the spectacle Buck Williams.
Nice, yeah. He was quality, wasn't he? He was a big, banging, bruising player. What's his size and weight listed on that one? Was he? He's a big boy.
Bro, I need glasses. Seriously, I actually do need glasses. I can't
Really?
even read stuff close to me
Yeah.
anymore. 6'8", 225.
Yeah, he was strong 225 though, wasn't he? Yeah. We'll get to that optometrist in the year, Woods.
Yeah, I need to.
And also start leaving that dog at home by itself. Yeah.
Yeah, you just what a legend, man. You were just talking about how you have one of his cards. He was a rookie in 1990. This is his New Jersey Nets card. What a great point guard for our Hawks.
Darren O'Shea Blaylock.
Mookie.
Nice.
Very,
Does it
very
say
good
his
pack.
full name on the back or not?
No.
What's your thoughts on that jersey?
Love it.
Kind of got forgotten about quick, didn't it? That New Jersey Nets jersey back.
I've got one. I've got
Do you?
Dražen Petrovic in that one. Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
nice. No All-Star cards yet.
Oh, awesome, man. This guy is so underrated. When you talk about one of the greatest two-way players to ever play the game, this is him at our Hawks in the early 90s. But he's most well known for his years with Milwaukee. Michael Jordan rates him as one of the best players he's ever gone up against, right?
Paul Pressey. No.
6'4", multiple-time All-Star, Hall of Famer.
I'm blanking on that for the Hawks.
Played for Milwaukee for most of his career, man. And Jordan, in the first episode of The Last Dance, Jordan talks about, and he speaks about his battles against Jordan in his rookie year. All-world defender. Sidney Moncrief.
Oh, Sidney Moncrief. Wow, I forgot about him for the Hawks then. Jeez, that's going back a while. Yeah, wow. Look at those shorts.
Hall of Famer, man. Guy that gets forgotten about.
Yeah,
he
he
was
does.
an all-world
I think
defender.
I've got an autograph card of him somewhere
Have you?
as well. Yeah.
He's just awesome, man. Like, oh, awesome. This guy was awesome. Big man. 6'11", still lives in Salt Lake City. Actually, a family friend of mine, his kids went to school in Salt Lake City with this guy's kids as well.
Thurl Bailey.
Thurl Bailey. Yes, he's still
on the
living in Salt
commentary
Lake
team,
City
isn't he?
today.
We got
yeah.
the landscape card
Hey,
there. That's pretty cool.
Stewie, landscape card for you, brother.
Yeah. Hey, which way do you put that in the sleeve, Woods? That's always gets your
that's
OCD
true.
going with that.
Yeah,
you put it
that's
like so
true.
it's yeah.
Okay, love this guy's Chicago Bulls podcast now. He's killing it in the media, commentating.
Has he got a girl's name?
Yes,
Stacey King.
Stacey King.
Oh, seems to be. What's his height and weight? He's huge, wasn't he? Was he over 7 foot?
6'11", 230.
Okay. He was a lefty from memory, right? Wasn't he?
Yep. Oh, man, love this guy's shooting technique. Love it. One-handed
Adams.
shooter. Yeah.
Nice. You like that one, right?
Love this guy. Love your
Adams.
bobblehead.
It's a great bobblehead. Wearing I think the white version of that jersey, right?
I've always wanted to take that bobblehead from you.
it is a good one, isn't it?
It's one of my
He's a
favorite
forgotten
footballers.
about player. I think I've got an autograph card of him somewhere too.
He's
Come to think of it.
awesome, man. And
He
who's
was.
the other player in world basketball, right? In Australian basketball who shoots like he does?
I don't know, just for some
Melbourne
reason
United big man. Someone who
Oh.
commentated. St. Mary's.
Oh, yeah, of course. Kyle Bowen. Yeah, he does have a similar shot.
So only one who shoots anything like Michael.
Hey, by the way, speaking of funny shooting styles, what's your thoughts on Jeremy Sohan's free throw shooting? He's shooting like 70% with that
Shot
one-hand
put.
style. It's weird, isn't
The
it?
shot put.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it works for him, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is awesome. I'm not going to tear up any of these checklist cards because they're so beautiful. It's got a beautiful painting of Heat, DJ, and Big Man.
DJ Ronnie Cycli.
How beautiful is that?
You want me to guess some players on the back of that? Or?
Yep, go for it.
Keith Askins.
Yep,
Obviously, Ronnie Cycli. Grant Long.
yep,
Glenn Rice.
yep.
John Sunvold.
No. Oh, yes.
Kevin Edwards.
No. Oh, yes, Kevin Edwards. Yep,
Sherman Douglas.
yep.
Phew. Many more to go?
Yeah, 4.
4. Vernell Bimbo Coles.
Yep,
Wow. Can I give myself a pat on the back for this?
yep. So the other
3
ones
to
are
go.
Willie Burton, Terry
Oh, yeah.
Davis, and Billy Thompson. And Alan Og.
Yeah. I wouldn't have got the last ones. I should have got Willie Burton, though, of course. Yeah.
All right, that's it's a really, really good pack. So we've
Yeah.
got Cycli, Michael Adams, Stacey King, Pearl Bailey, Sidney Moncrief, Mookie Blaylock, Buck Williams, Larry Bird, the whole dunk comp, David Benoit, Charles Oakley. Oh, it's a Charles Barkley card. Read it wrong.
Charles Barkley.
Yeah, it's Charles Barkley.
Fair enough. We'll have to check now if Charles Oakley played in the All-Star game. We want to do some
Yeah, I
fact
don't think he
checking
did.
there. Yeah, okay.
And Mark Mason, yeah.
Nice. You know, it's good hearing some of those names, a bit of a trip down memory lane. Like, you know, Sydney Moncrief, I had not thought of that guy's name in a long time. Maybe you can check the Charles Oakley line.
I'm checking now, yeah.
So, yeah, hearing some of those names there and, yeah, getting the
one-time NBL All-Star in 1994.
Nice. And
He
that
was.
remember the Knicks
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. Nice. So, well, at least we kind of got that right.
Yeah.
It was a Barkley one. So I appreciate that, Woods. A great way to end the year with Classic Packs. So, look, let's get into a bit of an outro. I didn't prepare a big thanks, Woods, but I've got to say, just, you know, big thanks not only to our guests that have come on this year. I think I said the other day, we've had close to 40 guests now since we've started this podcast. But, you know, all our regular listeners, our subscribers, you know, the people that, you know, give us encouragement
Our
and
Patreon
you know, everything else like
contributors.
that. Patreon people as well. So yeah, really appreciate that. Look, we're not going anywhere, Woods. We love doing this. We're looking forward to kick off. What this will be like year 4.
Yep.
Year 4 once we get into 2025. So we'll be back. I know
Year
we've
5,
both
because
been.
we started in 2020 during COVID.
Okay, COVID time. And I know we've got some guests lined up. I've been teasing it for a while. I've got a couple up my sleeve now and some big names sort of guests too. So it's sometimes hard to get, you know, you've got to get a bit of work involved to get these guys, especially if they're in the States and that. But we've got guests coming up, but we'll continue to do this every week. And yeah, we love everyone's support. So just a reminder, as I mentioned at the start of the show, please make sure you like, rate, and subscribe. I'm sure you're already doing that, but if you're not, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. Leave us a comment, leave us a thumbs up, do all those sort of things as well, right? Leave us a review. I know some people have done that there, and that comes up and helps, you know, different algorithms and stuff like that. You can follow us on Instagram, you can follow us firstly on X at Throwback Hoops. Instagram, throwback.hoops. Email address, any comments, you know, guests you want to see, jerseys you want us to wear, throwbackhoopspodcast@gmail.com. Woody mentioned Patreon. If you'd like to go on and pledge a couple of dollars a month, that would really help us, you know, with the costs associated with, you know, running this show. Woods, give us some words of wisdom to close out this year of 2024. And I know, look, firstly, Woods, I know it's been a very tough year for you, and I know probably this Christmas period will be. You know, firstly, I'm with you. You know, my thoughts are with your family this time. But give us some sort of positive news to finish off the year. Right?
I just think it's a really good time of year for everyone to spend time with their loved ones. We have busy lives, work gets in the way, and various different commitments. This is a time of year where we can actually kick back and value those relationships in life that mean something to us. So I encourage everyone to do that over the break and have a great holiday season and wish everyone all the best for 2025.
Absolutely, yeah, as I said. So when you see us next, it'll be the new year. So yeah, just want to echo those great thoughts of Woods. Wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Stay safe, keep watching the games, and we'll do it all again in 2025. Peace out.
Bye, everyone. Good.